Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. We're going to take a look at some of my upcoming projects for the week and those where I plan to do videos. So stay tuned. We're going to do some unboxing here. We'll show you the reels that have recently arrived by mail, and we'll tell you a little bit about the reel itself and a little bit about which ones I plan to do the videos on. Before I start, I want to thank our first responders, as I normally do, and our essential personnel and everybody that's involved in keeping us safe during the pandemic. Gee, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, right? It looks like we have a resurgence here, and I'm sure these folks that have been putting their efforts in every day to keeping us safe and out of harm's way are really working overtime now to combat this Delta variant. So thank you to all that you do. Your efforts truly are appreciated. Well, before we look at the ones that got mailed in, I want to show you a couple that actually came from the meeting that I did, where I did a presentation with the Hudson River Fishermen's Association, and I encouraged members, if they'd like, to bring their reels along, and I would try to help their efforts in restoring the reels or tuning them up. And these are some of the ones that I got. So Joe brought in a Shakespeare Combo 400. It's a 1970s reel. It's nice. It's missing a handle. I'm going to try and find that for Joe. We have a trend developing here. We have a handle that's broken on a Shimano. It's the IX 2000. I do believe I have that handle. And we have an older Ocean City one. It's the Ocean City 981, I think. Yeah, 981. I've done this reel before. This one does not have a free spool release. It's got a broken spring. Hard to find. Hopefully I'll find one for him and we'll be able to repair that for Joe. Also in that meeting, I got a couple of pieces here. This is a Garcia Kingfisher. It's an older reel. It's after Garcia, after the Mitchell bankruptcy, when Garcia went all out on their own. This one's got a unique star drag on the side, so we may do this one just to show you how that star drag operates. But this is a Kingfisher. It doesn't have an anti-reverse, or at least it's not working all of the time. So we'll see what's going on with that. We also have a Shimano 4000. Seems like a lot of these have an anti-reverse issue here. I'm not quite sure why, but they do. So we're going to get underneath that one. And then we have one which I'm not sure is going to be able to be repaired. This is a Master reel. Master made a lot of good fishing rods. At one point, they actually bought the Penn Reel Company. That was before Pure Fishing had them, I believe. This one lost the screw, lost the line guide, and has a bent bail wire. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking we can probably find something to substitute as the screw. I'm not sure what we can do about the line guide or line roller, so we'll have to see if that makes any sense to do those. So that's what was brought in from the Hudson River folks. I thank them for that. Let's move on to some of the ones that got in the mail, and I would encourage you to subscribe if you see any reels here that you would like to see more of. Then I would ask you to subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hit that notifications button. That's going to tell you when I post these videos, and when I post them, you can make a decision through the notifications as to whether you want to review them or not. This one comes all the way from the great state of Hawaii. And this reminds me of my dad. My dad used to pack his fishing reels in Crown Royal bags, so there you go. I believe this is the 500 Jigmaster. It is. We had a little conversation there, and they asked me just to tune it up and get it going again. And that's exactly what we're going to do. These reels will last forever if taken care of, and all the way from our great state of Hawaii. Aloha, and I look forward to working on your reel for you. I don't believe I'll do a video on this one just because I've done so many Jigmaster videos of all descriptions. But if you have a Jigmaster and you're interested in seeing how to service them, just look in my library and you'll be able to find them. Okay, let's see where the next one comes up from. They're always fun. This one comes from David in New York. People wonder why I opened it up from the bottom of the box. I opened it up from the bottom of the box so I could save the shipping label, so I know where to send it when I get done with it. Sometimes I don't get the notes that I ask for in the box, and saving the shipping label at least gives me a way to reach back to the customer. If I slice that label off, sometimes, well, I lose an important link in how to get in touch with folks. Okay, let's see what we got from David in New York then. We have a pen. I think it's a pen 9 or a pen 109. This one's the 109. So the 109 is an interesting reel. It's not the 9. The 9 performs like the 209 and the 309. The 109 is a different reel altogether. When you release the free spool, your handle is going to turn. Some folks think that that's an indication something is broken. That's not the truth. When you re-engage, you have an anti-reverse backstop. So we'll get this one all tuned up for David and make sure he can take that fishing again. Those are great little reels, and did all right in that lower end. Next one, I think I know what it is. It's from Troy in Illinois. And I think we got some Shimano level winds in here, but that may be in the next box. I'm not sure. I remember somebody telling me they wanted to send in some Shimano Tritons. Yep, that's what we got. I believe. Yep, we have the Shimano Triton TLD 25s. I know I've done some of the Tritons. I'm not sure if I've done this particular one. We'll take a look in my library. If I don't have it, we'll certainly do that. But these are great reels. And just a word of caution, if you do have these reels and you're looking to put braid on these, make sure that you back these spools with monofilament. That's the recommended one, monofilament, and then tie on your braid after about 15 yards of monofilament line. There's other substitutes out there. I've heard everything from Band-Aids to duct tape to elastic bands, all that kind of stuff. Monofilament works just fine. Tie that on, and if you're using braid with these reels. We got 3 of them in there, and we'll certainly do those. And whether we do a video or not, I'm not quite sure, but we'll let you know if we do. And then this one comes in from Tennessee. This comes in from Robert. And, you know, I don't remember all of the notes. I get quite a few notes about they'd like to send a reel in, and sometimes they send it in right after the notes. Sometimes they send it in a while away. We've got 2 big ones here. Oh, I love these. This is the Daiwa Twin. I have an older version of this one, but this is kind of a fun one. In England, I believe they call these pit reels because they're fishing in the old gravel pits, very deep, and you can see right away there's a big difference here. The spool travels up, the rotor is low, you have that domed piece in here. This is the Daiwa emblem. It's very big reel. This one's 5500, but by sizing standards, this is not a 5000 size reel. This is closer to an 8 or a 10,000 size reel by what you would typically see. And we're going to go make sure this one gets back to fishing. This one seems to be working okay. There seems to be a little bit of a tick-tick in there. I'm not quite sure what that is. And then we have the old standby. We have a Penn 450 SS with a rather common issue with a missing bail. So it looks like the spring might be, the screw is definitely missing on that. We'll see how this side is going. It's probably not. And I think I did one showing both sides on how to do that. But we'll do our best to make sure that works as well. Okay, so we got some interesting projects there. And then one I'm actually going to do a video on this afternoon. I previewed this one a little while ago. But I have 2 frozen Penn Fierce 3s. They came off that charter boat that I just did the video on the Battle in terms of an inside look. These are totally frozen. And I ordered some parts. We're not sure if we're going to be able to make this work or not, just based on some parts. But when you get a frozen drive chain, it can only be a couple of things. So it's a part of just ruling out some things and maybe thinking some things in inclusion. So the drive chain is the axle shaft. There's a pinion gear that drives the rotor. There's a main gear that drives the pinion gear and also drives the crosswind gear that moves the spool up and down. So if you have a frozen drivetrain, it's the crosswind gear, the crosswind block, the axle shaft, the main gear, or the pinion gear. That's basically the only thing mechanically that can cause a seizure like this. Usually a bent axle shaft will do it. And then the other piece is some kind of obstruction. So maybe there's some line trapped in here or other things that are causing it. But we're going to take this apart. We're going to try and see if we can figure it out. And if we can figure it out, I've already ordered some of those other components, and we'll do our best to get that reel fishing again. So stay tuned, stay watching this. Over the course of the next week or two, you should see the videos that I'm pretty sure I'm going to do out of this group. We're going to give all of these reels a second chance. I don't see any reason for looking at those reels and thinking that there's something that will limit us in terms of doing it, other than perhaps the spring on that Ocean City 981. It may not be available. And we'll try and give you a lesson along the way about how to take these apart, service them, and put them back together again. So if you'd like to see any of these, leave them in the comment section of this video. If you have any questions on any reels, not just these, leave those in the comment section as well. I do try to respond to them. And if you have any reels that you're interested in having serviced, but you don't want to do it yourself, well, contact me by the information on the business card that follows, and I'll be happy to provide you with the repair information. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.